All right, today we're going to tackle something that's, well, it's huge, it's pretty much invisible, and it's a massive challenge for just about every business out there: carbon accounting. We're going to dive into how companies actually measure their environmental impact and how a new wave of technology is finally making it possible to see the full picture.
So just think about this for a second. How does a massive global company even begin to measure its own shadow? Because that's really what a carbon footprint is, right? It's this invisible shadow cast by every single vehicle, every factory, every product in its supply chain. It's like a ghost in the machine. So how on earth do you measure something that's everywhere and nowhere at the same time?
You see, for more and more companies, tracking this shadow isn't a nice-to-have anymore. Nope, it's a mandatory, high-stakes task that has completely, and I mean completely, outgrown simple spreadsheets. This is a whole new ballgame when it comes to data. What sustainability managers are up against is a true data tidal wave. They've got to pull information from thousands of sources. We're talking fuel bills, shipping records, electricity invoices, you name it. And all of that data has to be perfectly structured to meet these super rigorous reporting standards, like the Global Reporting Initiative, or GRI, which basically sets the global standard for this stuff. It's a monumental job.
Okay, so how do you bring any kind of order to all that chaos? Well, first, you need a common language. And in the world of carbon accounting, that language is built around a really powerful and actually a surprisingly simple idea called scopes.
In that language, that official rulebook is called the Greenhouse Gas Protocol. You can think of it as the instruction manual for carbon accounting. It's what sorts that data tidal wave into clear, logical categories. It makes sure a company in India is measuring its emissions in the exact same way as one in Germany.
So the GHG protocol breaks everything down into 3 scopes. Scope 1, that's the easy one. It's the direct emissions from things your company actually owns, like the exhaust from its own delivery trucks. Scope 2 covers the energy you buy, like the emissions from the power plant that keeps your office lights on. And then there's Scope 3. And Scope 3, it's basically everything else. It's the big one, covering your entire value chain, from raw materials all the way to how your customers use your products. And this, right here, is the real challenge. For most companies, a massive 75% or even more of their entire carbon footprint is hiding in plain sight, in Scope 3. It's not in their own buildings or their own trucks, it's buried in their vast, complex network of suppliers. That's the hardest piece to track, but it's also the most important one to get a handle on. So, okay, knowing the scopes is one thing, but actually wrangling all that data from thousands of different places, that's a whole other beast. And this is where technology becomes absolutely critical. Let's just take Scope 1 as a quick example. A modern platform makes this, well, it makes it logical. First, you centralize all your assets, like your vehicles and boilers, in one place. Then you record what they're doing, how much fuel they used, how far they went, and then the system just automatically calculates and allocates the emissions. It's clean, simple, and most importantly, it's auditable. But a really powerful system has to handle the whole shebang. We're talking about all the different kinds of Scope 1 sources, the specific details of Scope 2 energy purchases, and yeah, all 15, that's 15, distinct categories of Scope 3, from the goods you buy to business travel and even your employees' daily commute. And look, this isn't a one-person job, right? A system like this has to be built for teamwork. You've got different roles for admins who set things up, company users who manage their own corner of the world, and even a special portal for suppliers to upload their data directly. It streamlines everything. But what if you could automate it even more? Okay, so everything we've talked about so far is about organizing data that you've already collected. But what if you could automate the collection itself? This is where an AI-powered assistant just completely changes the game. Instead of an army of people doing manual data entry, just picture this. You just upload a bunch of documents, PDFs, invoices, whatever you've got. The AI reads them, understands them, and automatically pulls out the key data you need, like fuel quantity or cost. Then a human just gives it a quick review and hits finalize. That's it. I mean, think about that. You're transforming these giant stacks of paper or, endless folders of digital files into clean, actionable data in minutes, not weeks or months. That massive leap in efficiency frees up so much precious time for what actually matters: strategy and action. And the AI's superpowers don't stop at data entry, not even close. You've got things like a Scope 3 estimator that can rapidly model your entire supply chain's footprint.
There's an AI forecast that can predict where your emissions are headed, and my personal favorite, a what-if analysis tool that lets you test out different reduction ideas to see what works before you spend a single dollar.
So, why go through all this trouble? All the dashboards, the AI, this complex data collection, what's it all for? Well, it's all leading to one place. Because the ultimate goal isn't just to measure a number, it's to change it.
And that's maybe the most important point of all. Getting accurate data, that's just the foundation. That's step one. The real power is unleashed when you use that data to make smarter decisions, set meaningful targets, and drive actual real-world change. It creates this really clear journey to making a real impact. First, you measure to get that accurate, auditable footprint. Then, you use that data to plan your reduction targets. That allows you to act by building a real, tangible decarbonization roadmap. And finally, you can report your progress with total confidence, generating reports for those key frameworks like the GRI, with just the click of a button.
Ultimately, when you boil it all down, it all comes back to this one simple, powerful idea. The goal is to create one single source of truth for a company's entire carbon story. No more conflicting spreadsheets, no more siloed information. Just one clear, comprehensive, and actionable picture.
And that really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. This kind of technology gives businesses a level of clarity about their environmental impact that was honestly almost unthinkable just a decade ago. So the real question becomes, if every single business could see its own shadow this clearly, what would change?